It's Advancing Preconstruction 2026, and I've got the one and only Steve Dell'Orto here for another update on ConCntric. Steve, what is the crack?
How you doing, Gareth? It's another great year.
Well, it's not a great year for Team USA.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
As you can see, folks, Team Europe retained the pre-construction part.
I think we have reception issues. Nobody wants to hear this, Gareth.
It sounds like you don't want to talk about it, Steve. You know,
That's sore.
have you not had a therapy session yet?
Advancing Preconstruction is my therapy. Distracts me. But
Brilliant. So I want to get an update on ConCntric. I want to find out where you guys are at. Obviously, last year there was a lot of updates. It was moving at a rapid pace. So I'm excited to hear what's happening now. I want to start with a question. How does, just for anybody, first of all, sorry, for anybody that hasn't listened to the previous episodes, definitely go back. It's worth listening to them. But for anybody new, we've got loads of new subscribers. I just want to ask this question to get us started, and then we'll pivot from there. How does ConCntric help pre-con teams move faster without losing confidence in the numbers?
you know, there's a few steps or cuts at that. Moving faster. I mean, still in this day and age, companies, big, small, medium size, the lion's share of the work they're doing in pre-con, they're still doing in Excel. And this isn't just like one Excel book. These are worksheets that are just side studies, and they just have an entire array of disconnected spreadsheets that are really whipped up to go solve whatever that task is at that time for that project. There's no standardization. There's nothing more modern than Excel, which quite honestly is antiquated. And the challenge with that is if it's in Excel, then it's really not structured data, and it's not living in a central repository that can be leveraged and used by the other members of the team. So you never get the flywheel effect built where the data, the processes that are generally can be standardized start to pick up the efficiency of the work that, you know, the pre-construction team members are having to do. So very much still status quo is very, very manual. How do you drive efficiency and get them bandwidth back is get off Excel, work with more modern software like the ConCntric platform, because a lot of the manual stuff that you're doing is generally being curated or handled by the platform automatically. So that just frees up, even if it's just a click or it's a minute turns into hours. So when you talk about efficiency, you have to solve it at the root. There's no magic AI solution that automatically makes everybody magically more efficient right out of the gate in our industry, because the data and where data is across the board is still very unstructured and not conducive to driving efficiency, but then also having confidence in the outcome of whatever you might be using to try to gain the efficiency. So those two things kind of work in tandem, but you have to have a proper foundation before you start trying to do anything beyond that. And today's day and age, that foundation is Excel, and that's a faulty foundation.
Yeah, it's a big move, moving from Excel to what I've heard ConCntric from GCs being described as an operating system, pre-construction operating system. Like, that's a big move. I would imagine there's GCs out there thinking, oh, that sounds amazing. But how difficult is that to try and gain the adoption for the team, the company? Like, is it a difficult step?
I think with us, it's less difficult than what they may have experienced with other software. You know, change management and new things. Some people, particularly the younger demographics, latch onto it very quickly. People that are near retirement, they may be a little bit slower to embrace change. We have to work with teams that have a whole cross-section of people, and we just, you know, we really try to break it down to the individual and make sure we're helping them along, meeting them where they're at, as they say. But fundamental to what we've done as a team, and we have amazing designers and engineers that really think about that simplicity first, that being a guiding principle, because the easier and more automatic that you can build that user interface, requiring the human to have to do less, that drives the efficiency that we were just talking about, but it also makes adoption that much easier. It's not complicated, and it doesn't take anybody really a long time to get their head around it, that change and getting used to using something different. We've also intentionally not tried to reinvent precon. As an industry veteran, precon's not broken. Our people are not doing bad things. The processes aren't broken. They're just way too manual and antiquated in the kind of nature that they exist. So with a modern advancement of those same best practices is all we're doing.
Yeah.
And by doing that, we keep it very familiar. So it tends to be a rather easy, low bar to get over, to go from Excel to what we've built. And a lot of it is Excel-like, on purpose, because we don't want people to have to make a leap too far to see value in our platform. We've been quite successful.
And you mentioned the data. Obviously, the data is the gold right now for a GC, any GC. How difficult or how do you go about getting the data, even if it's structured data or unstructured data, into ConCntric? And then how quickly do you get up to speed where you're thinking, whoa, this is adding real value?
Well, there's two elements to it. There's the cost data that is generated out of an estimating calculator. There's like 6 or 7 options out there, including Excel. And we work with all of them because we're not in a position to have precon teams or estimating teams leave whatever estimating tool of choice that they're currently using. Where we add value is precon is way more than just estimating. And estimating is very, you got 40 different workflows. And if you think of those as like gears in the machine that make the machine run, estimating is an important gear, but it's not the only gear. The data coming out of the estimate comes into our platform and allows now everybody else involved in the process to use, reference, and access that data for their own needs as they're performing the service on the job. Because precon is, it's kind of a team sport, and you typically have many people on the team doing different things, estimating being one of them. So we get the data in that way rather seamlessly from those various estimating calculator. But then the rest of the data is just kind of the in situ work you're doing within our platform. And the more you use it, the more data and knowledge and information and context on the project that's being developed and captured in our platform. And the beauty about that is on one project, when that is being done, that project now is captured forever. So it can be used by the company on the next project and the project after that. So you can really start to imagine the flywheel effect, the cumulative or accumulating power of project 1, project 2 informs project 3 and 4, and it just gets better, smarter, more robust. And what we're driving is accuracy. We're driving precision. We're driving risk out of the project. All of those things point to what our North Star is, what we're trying to provide as a value or a benefit to all stakeholders on the project. It's the certainty of outcome. With certainty of outcome, an owner has a project that ends up costing them what they were expecting and not more. You have a GC where the process goes a lot more smoothly. They make the money they were hoping to make to provide that service as a contractor. The design team gets a design and the facility or the asset that really is very much in line with their original vision of what that design should look like, how it should function. And it hasn't been hacked and carved to death because of reactive value engineering and the things that plague our industry today.
Yeah. And then, when you talk about that design specifically, does the owner be on ConCntric as well, and they can see the design changes and the recommendations and in almost real time?
Yeah, the platform is really designed to drive more collaboration, more trust and transparency among the stakeholders. So everybody's invited to come in and play their role and do what they do to add value to the project. And also in kind have more information shared with them and at their fingertips so they can do their job more effectively. Without technology and whatnot, it just becomes, there's like almost physical barriers to sharing information. You got to prepare an email, you got to attach stuff, you got to be careful about what version, all that takes time. But if everybody's in this single source of truth and they can sign in and get the information out of it that, their role should expect to get, everybody wins.
And I mean, we've seen construction change, delivery methods particularly, like the amount of collaborative delivery methods now that are being used, it's almost a non-negotiable to have something like this.
I mean, we're seeing in RFPs that our customers are responding to. And, back when I was the general contractor just a handful of years ago, I saw the trend emerging where the RFP is the process that the owner is going through to find who's going to be the best fit for them and who they're going to trust to get the job done the best. And they've started to really put a lot more emphasis on pre-construction as opposed to only caring about who is going to be your superintendent and what's the schedule feedback on a project that's not even been designed.
Yeah.
They want to know, again, certainty of outcome. They're striving for more certainty, and they know they get more certainty when somebody really pays attention to how they're setting the table for success. And somebody who can bring something more than lip service and Excel spreadsheets makes a significant impression. The owner is looking for these things, and it's literally written into these RFPs that the GCs are having to respond to. Yeah. It's a clear indicator. It's a signal. And we have a lot of customers that when they come on board and they start using that in the way they go to compete and win, their win rate is significantly improved. And they come back and they tell us that. I mean, the owners are leaning in when they show it in the interview.
Yeah.
They're connecting. That's bringing value. That's different. And our customers, win rate is improving drastically because of it.
Yeah. Owners are getting smarter, Steve. Like, I even see it in the staffing side. Like, I see owners staffing up on the pre-construction departments. Yes, cost management, but cost management is more when the project has started. Like, trying to kind of influence, or like, what's the point in having an accountant come to you 6 months into a project going, we're losing X amount of money? It's kind of a waste of money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're now staffing up on the precon side. So then if the precon departments, people who are working with the owners are seeing something like ConCntric, are they going to start demanding that they use technologies like ConCntric?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see that. We have owner customers directly, and yeah, they see the value, and whether they're able to do it formally or informally, they're definitely expressing the desire and the interest that the GC should be bringing more than lip service and Excel spreadsheets.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously your booth, I was in the hall. Your booth hasn't stopped with existing clients of yours, new clients of yours.
That's been fun.
What's been the feedback? What are the existing clients? What are they loving, and what are the new clients looking for?
So our existing clients, I think they would tell you if you asked them that, they know that they need to really upgrade the technology, even some of their process, to continue to compete. They're competing for the work, but they're also competing for the talent. Everybody's needing talent. You know better than anybody, Gareth. And so it's a differentiator in both ways, to both recruit them and to retain them. So that makes a big difference. They have experienced adopting a point solution here and a point solution there. There just hasn't been that many available. If you think about the 40 workflows, there might be 2 or 3 workflows that, maybe it's an outside technology-oriented person or group of people that are coming into the construction industry to help solve our problems. They create a point solution. Okay, maybe it works for a while. But now that ConCntric as a platform, that's also built by builders. So it's speaking their language, it's bespoke, they know exactly the way it works was really designed with them in mind. They're shedding all these point solutions because, this is like a graduation thing where back kind of in my career, it was all Excel spreadsheets and it was inefficient, but I could move data from one spreadsheet to another spreadsheet. When you start replacing spreadsheets with point solutions and you got to move data from a point solution to another point solution, now you as the user, maybe it's a GC, you don't know how to do that. But what does it involve? A spreadsheet, because you're going to do like a download into Excel and then a re-upload. Absolute pain in the ass. That's not helping anything. So they see that, wait a minute, there's a platform where all of these things exist in one place, one single pane of glass. And my people only have to come into one environment to get their work done. And it's all integrated. The data's being structured. There's a complete audit trail from, the beginning to the very end. And the data's being structured to be reusable time and time again it clicks. And so that's what's exciting, that the feedback we get from our current customers. And then we have all the new folks very interested at the booth. And you can just see the eyes open and the aha moments and the light bulbs go off. Because, I can empathize. I was in their shoes and you're just looking at all of this technology. It can be dizzying between all the vendors and the booths and the different offerings. But when it comes down to it, they don't want more of a lot of different stuff. They want efficiency. They want one place to go get their job done. They don't want all those complexities. And so we offer a solution that, basically is the opposite of complexity. It's super efficient. It's right there. It's accessible. You can invite people, owners, architects. They can come in and collaborate. It's a source of truth. So everybody, you don't have to reconcile your version of a spreadsheet versus my version of a spreadsheet or what was said or shared last week in the OAC meeting. It's all right there.
And it obviously helps as well with security. I mean, security is a big thing. When you're downloading from one point solution to another, there's a time there when the data is sitting in limbo or a spreadsheet or saved on a computer.
Right.
Like obviously with ConCntric, it's in one place, so security is a lot easier.
Right. Think of it like a vault.
Yeah.
That data and all of their stuff as the tenant is in the vault. And nobody can get in or out of that vault unless the vault owner is allowing it. But you're right, when you're switching and moving data from one entity, you're leaving their vault, you're out somewhere before you enter somebody else's vault. And if that handoff doesn't go well, you might be exposing your data, or you're just losing information or fidelity because it gets lost in that transfer. It's just not efficient at any level.
And then you've got, I'm sure you've heard it all day, it's AI. Everybody's talking about it. When you can put, I would imagine, ConCntric, the AI function on top of that vault, then there's all the information's there. They're not pulling from websites or anywhere else. It's just all there in one.
Fundamentally, the purpose of ConCntric and how we set it up as a platform was designed to be able to structure that data and be prepared for, I'm going back a number of years when it was just simply AI and, there wasn't nearly the knowledge and appreciation for what AI is today back then, but it was always going to be something. I'm blown away with how quickly AI has become what it is today versus back in the 2018, 2019 timeframe. I'm so glad our development team had the foresight to build our platform in a way that we could, earlier than anybody else, have the architecture in place to do what we're now doing with Amplify. We rolled out Amplify, well over a year ago. We started to really invest heavily, not in AI in general, like everybody's talking about LLMs. No, we invested in the architecture that really enables agentic AI, because what we were started with, the efficiency of people, and we don't have enough people. we're a force multiplier. That's why we called it amplify. If you're the user, we've just now amplified what Gareth can do, like Clark Kent turns into Superman. I mean, it really is that significant. Does it replace the person? We don't have enough Gareths to go around if you're the user in the industry. We
You're
just
right.
got to allow you to do way more to make up for that talent gap that we're just not going to be able to solve any other way.
So Amplify now is well over a year old. Is that the big thing when people come over to your booth and say, show me your AI functionality? Because there's two types of AI, obviously. Well, this is what my thoughts, and from the GCs, there's going to be estimators or people within precon that use AI, so they code, Claude Coworker. But then there's going to be platforms that are going to basically take care of the AI, which are going to be allow senior estimators or precon manager do what they were basically educated and trained to do, which is the high level stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our approach is, number one, you're in a platform that has all aspects of pre-construction represented with purpose-built workflows, so that as you're using it, the confidence of the output by our user, they know the system that's generating that output. So you have a high degree of confidence. Then you can now use our agentic AI to work with that data and produce analyses and outcomes, or work, as an agent on their behalf, that they don't now need to rely on hiring yet another person to do that work. Either way, it's all about confidence. You're not going to be able to get confidence if you take your data and you shove it into ChatGPT. Now you're training their models or exposing your data, and our customers' data and the sanctity of that data is paramount.
Yeah.
So we protect that.
Yeah.
So does that mean you have to wall it off from AI? No. You need to we bring in AI, the horsepower, into the vault, so that way you can leverage that horsepower with your data and get everything you would want out of ChatGPT, but in a very safe, contained manner. And all of the information, think about it as a growing knowledge base for your company, also then is informing the information and the output that you're getting out of it. So it becomes very specific and bespoke to your company, very tailored and really on point.
Funny, customizable has been a lot, that's come up a lot today, not only with the tech founders that I've interviewed, but the GCs, because it's pretty evident, you will know this from your time in the industry, building billion-dollar projects, everyone estimates very differently. So they all want something like the off-the-shelf kind of product or workflow doesn't work with anyone. So there's got to be some form of customization.
Well, I mean, it's more about just flexibility.
Yeah, right? Or that, yeah.
So, if you have data, structured or unstructured, AI and our architecture is designed to make sense of the unstructured data as much as the structured data. So ultimately, the customization, it's not customization, it's just pure flexibility of being able to do anything with your data without having somebody to build that user interface that structures the data in a very particular way. So with our platform, you get the best of both worlds. We're advancing our customers, we're advancing pre-construction from the standpoint of it was Excel or an assortment of Excel and occasional point solution. Let's move everybody to a more modern platform with digitized workflows that represent the best of the best practices. And if you're comfortable with that, then you're 5 times more efficient. Yeah. Now, people are now growing into and getting more and more comfortable with AI, particularly agentic AI, like what we offer. And so we're seeing that comfort level work into what we've had available, knowing that everybody would need to grow into it. Yeah. Let's be ahead and grow into it while we continue to grow it, more and more and more. But some people they can kind of skip the workflows and go right into getting work done out of Amplify without needing the workflows that we've built. I mean, we actually internally, we strive to render our stuff obsolete.
Yeah.
That we've built, because I easily see in just a year or 2, maybe 3, the interfacing with our workflows that we've designed and built and have been in use for a few years, that'll represent the output, but they'll interface with Amplify to just get the work done. And then the end result will be positioned in the various things that we've built, or Amplify will generate the view that you're asking for.
Wow. That's exciting, because
Super.
my other question was going to be, because there's so much functionality within ConCntric, what do they gravitate towards first? But that won't be the case. It'll be simply Amplify. They'll just go in and ask it a question, and it will go and search its own data, its historical data, and give them the answer.
They could, but they'll have the option to go either way, or a combination of the two at any point in time.
Well, there you are. There's the customization. So being able to do it the traditional way, or use the younger generation who are used to using ChatGPT, can now do that at work as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a customized or a flexible experience.
Yeah. What like when I'm thinking about all this, what excites you most about the next 2 or 3 years, particularly within ConCntric?
I mean, just seeing the impact that we're already having and what we can build and how much more quickly we can build. I mean, it's almost limitless.
Yeah.
And so, what gets me out of bed every day is the speed at which we can move. We're doing good, right? We're really helping people save a tremendous amount of time or waste. We're making the individual pre-construction professional, we're improving the work-life balance for every hour we save them from doing all of that manual, tedious stuff. What they choose to do with that hour now is like an option for them. But with, AI, I try not to make everything about AI because we're just all flooded with AI talk. But not only are we building AI solutions, Amplify for our customers, this is about walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Yeah.
So our entire company internally, we're building and operating, we're working off of an operating system that's all driven by AI. So that way we ourselves can be superhuman. I mean, we literally have almost 100% of our code originating with AI.
Wow.
So now our great engineering team, you've got to check that. This is not like Claude Code, and this is an enterprise grade platform that's well thought out, designed, and built with durability in mind, security in mind, and scalability in mind. And so I think it's exciting times with Claude Code and what individuals are now able to do without any sort of coding background. But as a company, Claude Code could almost be like Excel, where Excel is the enemy of standardization. Right? If everybody's got full customization, they can do whatever they want with it. But what it's not doing is driving standardization across a company. If you got everybody
doing their
vibe
own
coding their own solutions for this one-off thing, is that long-term the most efficient thing for you as a corporate leader? No, you probably want to have a little bit of sanity.
Yeah. Well, you're getting a different product, like from a different office or a different solution. Yeah, that's not what you want. You want what you pay for is a little bit of certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and security and really a professional built architecture.
Yeah.
That's far more durable and reliable. And if you do I'm all for this because it's just really raising the awareness and accelerating people's comfort level with AI. But you can build something and then it's not working, but you don't have the trained eye of what to look for to figure out where's this thing going wrong.
Yeah, that's the key, isn't it?
And that's
where knowledge retention comes in.
Yep.
Like that's where we're getting that piece of information from the 45-year-old, 50-year-old, not 50-year-old, but 50 years experience veteran,
right,
leaving the industry. If you can get that into an operating system,
right, that
will always pick that problem up in the future, you keep doing that, you should be getting smarter every 6 months, every 12 months.
Yeah,
then so you get the best people, the smartest people, get their ideas into ConCntric, and then the next people coming along will never miss that.
And now, how do you allow AI to be a proactive guide as opposed to a reactive resource you hit when you need information. But as you navigate our platform or you navigate situations with data and pattern recognition, we can do maybe what a supervisor could do if they had ample time to really check everybody's work or check in on their thinking and what direction is it heading. And now we can proactively guide them as an extension of what you would expect management to do.
Here's a question that just came into my head. See, for the handoff to operations, surely it's going to be unbelievably valuable.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the cool thing about precon versus the project management and ops side. It's generally a pretty clean handoff. Yeah. This is not like a tangled web. Yeah. And so instead of this being viewed as a handoff, ConCntric is really designed, because it's so easy to adopt and use, to be actually a unifier. Yeah. How do we unify operations to come in and play a more convenient and active role in the planning of the project? Right now, the barrier is, you want me as a superintendent like being involved in estimating? I'm not even trained on your estimating calculator. I can't access it. There's a barrier, right? Or they're on the job site and they need access to information. They can't get it readily. They're going to, basically drop that task because they just don't have the time. Yeah. But if they can just drop into our platform, check things out, get alerts, have information pushed to them, it just unifies the entire process, and you can leverage ops in the way that you want to leverage ops in the planning stage, and they can, stay up to speed on a project they're eventually going to go out and run.
Some excitement.
Everybody wins.
Some excitement, Steve. And we could probably talk here for another hour. It's interesting. I mean, ConCntric, obviously, we've been on the website, but particularly you on LinkedIn, you're becoming more vocal. Is that the best place to get in touch with you if someone's looking for a demo, looking for more questions? Some more questions answered? Yeah, I mean, I love to connect with people. So LinkedIn is the easiest way to connect with people these days. Our website, I mean, we've got a great flat organization. So you hit that website, you're going to get the attention of a lot of people. Good. And we just love to engage, show you the platform. We actually like to start the conversation really about understanding what they're trying to solve for. What are their pain points? What are their objectives? So that, we can have a much more effective sharing of what part of our platform might be of benefit. Do we need or benefit from everything that we've built? Maybe not. Let's figure out, what are your priorities? It's really about the voice of the customer from the very, very beginning. So, getting a hold of us through the website and engaging, that's what we're here for. There you are, folks. I'll put both the website to book a demo yourself, your LinkedIn as well. Absolutely. In the show notes, folks. So go down there, follow Steve, get on the website, book a demo, and enjoy ConCntric. Yeah, bring it. Steve, first of all, before you leave, I want to thank you as well for your continued support of the Preconstruction podcast. Of course. ConCntric's been a long-term partner and sponsor, so really appreciate that. Likewise, you've been a great supporter of ConCntric. We appreciate that. Looking forward to next year's check-in. Yeah, and Ryder Cup. I think USA is going to take it next year. Cheers, Steve. Thanks, Gareth.